Hello. Welcome to another week of our Big Brother recap chit chat. Here tonight, me and Jamie. Got a girls session going on tonight, just like Taylor likes.
That's right. It's just the two of us.
It's just the girls.
Our other bestie is jumped ship for other engagements, previously planned engagements.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Maybe he'll pop in. I mean, if he could pop in from a cruise ship.
Yeah, he has been known. He's been known to show up in all sorts of crazy places.
Say he's not going to be here and then never thinks, he hates to miss out. He's got big time FOMO. Anyway,
this is the week to pop in. It's been active. It's been fun.
Really is.
We're starting to get some real personality that's not just negativity. It was a much more fun.
Well, you're getting to see. Well, we've already seen some of the ugly, and now this week it was just the stupid. So, oh gosh, this as bad as Eric on Survivor giving his immunity idol to Poverty. Is this that level of stupidity?
I think that it's actually worse because we're talking about Poverty and she's got some serious manipulation skill. So you could kind of almost go, okay, well, that's dumb. But this was all based off of hard-nosed stubbornness, to the fact that they knew that reverse psychology was going to work on Daniel. They knew it. And even when they were gonna keep him safe, they're like, there's nothing we can do. We can't save them. They're just they are.
This is there. Daniel and Nicole were a funny alliance because they really did feed each other's paranoia and whatever weird. It's like they couldn't just go with whatever was the simplest to believe. They had to create a thing, and then they would, they were drinking each other's Kool-Aid, right? They thought each one of them was the smartest.
It was a little bit. Well, okay, it wasn't a little bit. It was a lot disappointing because, as you know, Nicole it was David and I. That was our first pick. That was our winner pick.
She looked strong immediately. I was and I didn't pick her because I thought, that's not going to be cool. We got to kind of spread it around a little bit.
I had high hopes for her, but there was this streak of meanness that went through the house straight off the bat, and then more than half of the house kind of pulled back on that and realized this is bad and we can't be doing this and we need to work on this. And then Turner, of all of these characters, now what are we talking about when we got all the dish the first week that they announced everybody, and we got all this dish and we're like, oh, let's watch him, and lo and behold, Turner's the guy, he's the guy in the house.
Okay, now I can't. I mean, I have to say it. I had a feeling he was going to be a good guy. Yeah, I just said, all of the scandal about him, I didn't believe it.
Yep.
I was like, yep. I don't think so. That just sounds too bitter Betty. Even if what? Here's why. Because even if your sibling's the worst sibling and they get on TV, if you're a good person, you don't put that out into the world
on Twitter and be like, he's the worst human ever.
Right, because literally family business, let's keep that private. So she made herself already kind of look like the crazy for that. So we had to kind of think that maybe Taylor wasn't that bad, and lo and behold, he's not. Him and his crazy multicolored pants, but
he voted. JP voted got out. So we just
JP. Sorry, guys. JP holds no power here. Sorry.
So we've got Turner playing a fun game. Now we have this whole setup, this whole thing that was put together, but then it looked like there was a little bit of how was this going to go? Because suddenly Kyle's like, I can't say no to Alyssa anymore, right? Because clearly the showmance was going to happen.
Well, I mean, okay, so we've seen a lot of showmances over the years, right? We've seen a lot of editing around showmances to kind of play it up and whatever.
I don't hate this one. I kind of don't hate this one.
Okay, but how crazy is it that they play it that he literally has to stay in the cold shower because he's so freaking horn dog, he can't even come out of the shower.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about the innuendo that was being thrown everywhere on this episode? Like Joseph in the doorway. I'm sorry. What did you just allow him to say? What?
And they have their first kiss, and lo and behold, Daniel's right there sleeping, didn't miss the whole thing.
Yeah, missed it all. He was right there. Missed it all.
I mean, they're pretty cute together, but
I don't hate the showmance as much as I normally hate showmances.
Do you want to know why I think so? I think I don't hate it as much because they still have their loyalty to their alliance.
Yeah, maybe
it doesn't look. He's like, listen. I mean, I want her to stay, but
yeah.
if it had gone the other way and they had to vote her out, he would have voted her out too.
We'll see how it goes, because if there has been anything that this season has taught us thus far, is that we don't know what we're really looking at until we dig a little deeper.
Editing. Fun with editing.
Well, I mean, editing, sure, but just like, I mean, everybody seemed to be fairly normal when they entered the house.
And then
they were really mean, like Mean Girls Burn Book level mean. So,
I want to say that that's kind of a mob style mentality, that it just takes one person to say something and then someone else to grab onto it and say something a little, and before they know it, they've escalated that mean girl thing up, and maybe gets out of the control for them. I don't know. I don't know that anyone really instigated it, but by the time they got there, that was the only narrative they were going with.
Oh, somebody instigated, all right, but she was the first one who walked her own booty out the door. Who also, by the way, has had follow-up interviews since and just doesn't back away from the things that she previously said. And then
even though she's watching the show?
And then we have Pooch, who is also not backing down or apologizing or even thinking he did or said anything, and has repeated the thing that they always say, which is like, well, we don't see everything. Yeah, actually we do. It's kind of the thing about this show.
Yeah. I mean, it's out there.
It's sort of the thing, right? Right?
Yeah. I mean, even if you're not watching it in the real edited show for primetime, it's out there and people can find the information out of what's going on. Very easily.
And when there is a scandal, if you're not watching the live feeds, but something scandalous happens, spend 10 minutes on Big Brother Twitter. Somebody's posted it. Mm-hmm. It's there. Now, Amira has gone and said, you know what? I have to go back and look at all the things, and I have to she has to take a step back and apologize for her behavior, and that's not how she wants to be, and there's opportunity to grow. I mean, she's saying the right things. At least she has some level of like self-intellect and an inner dialogue that says like, maybe we need to repair what we were doing.
The key is maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, I could have been
Some
wrong.
people can't
There's
do that.
a possibility I was wrong. So we've got Nicole, who is just burning mad with the fact that she didn't know this was happening with Amira. Burning mad.
Yeah.
And sadly, she's burning mad enough that this is where, like, okay, there was a few things before that, but this little like downhill slope that she was kind of on as far as being personable and someone you wanted to root for, like, really turned into an avalanche this week. Like, it wasn't good. And
she threw her own game away. She really did, because
she absolutely did.
Okay, so Amira gets voted out. You're human mad, but you're still in the game. Now, the way that she allowed people to see how mad she was makes me believe even though Amira was just voted out, did not realize that she didn't know what was going on in the game.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That should be the indicator. When you're that blindsided, you should go, don't assume that anything you think is true is true. You have to reevaluate everything.
You need to, I mean, because in the reality,
somebody was lying to you.
At some point, But it only becomes so much more entertaining for us because we get all of
Right.
these, we get all of these like little moments of like, I figured it out. I've solved the puzzle. I'm really having a
This
great week.
game is
I
so
know.
easy.
It's so easy. I get everything. And meanwhile, like homeboy, her best buddy, is the one who like basically set her up for this whole thing to happen. And I feel like anybody, like if you
Oh,
were going to do like Derek level detective work, you would have been like, maybe he's in on something. He's my number one, but that doesn't mean that I'm his, like, maybe he has something to do with this. I mean, like, it never even,
oh, but you know what?
never a question.
You're talking about Kyle, correct?
No, with Daniel, like, he didn't have to play the veto. Like, he didn't have
Oh,
to,
right,
like,
right.
he didn't have to use it. He did not have to use it. But
No,
what did he do? Monty said, don't
because
use it.
right,
Don't
but
use
once
it.
again,
I'm going to use
they
it.
they are so paranoid that Taylor's going to skate by another week
Yeah.
because they told everybody in the house wants her out. Listen,
I don't
hello,
understand.
she's been on the block. They could have said if everybody wanted her out, she would already be out because now
Yeah.
3 people have gone home that wanted her out. So clearly, people, maybe it's just the 2 of you left that want to get her out. Like, honestly.
And I mean, they're not the 2 oldest, but they're 2 of the oldest players. They
Should be
probably,
a little bit wiser and more mature, right?
yeah, but I think they separated themselves from some of the crowd conversation, and that kind of made them miss out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They kept this like very okay. I'm gonna throw them a little credit, a very little bit, but the leftovers crew, they knew that they had to keep this like mirage, this Taylor hate mirage happening.
Yeah.
So, and Taylor played it well too. I mean, she was upset after the veto got played and she had to go up.
Because you never know.
Right. Exactly. So,
And that's scary.
and I don't blame her there. But all the other stuff, the girl's been acting for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I will say this, what Nicole has said to people, if she doesn't get out, she's going to win this. I mean, Nicole was not wrong about that. She's looking really good.
Yeah.
And now
it's not a horribly wrong assessment, but there's like 4 or 5 other players in that house that are like really digging their heels in and creating some like good long-term paths.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even better than her, because they realize she's like Survivor's meat shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as she's in the game, people are going to go after her, and they're not going to see what I'm doing
until those people are gone.
Until they're gone. But I would like to use like one of those people that I think is really playing a very strong game, and is Michael, because he can go into a room, he can just sit there while everyone talks, and he can observe everything, and no one even notices he's there. Well, he's kind of got like the Andy thing, where he can bebop into rooms. Like when
except tonight, we saw that he came in the room, and when he left, they were like, "Do not trust him at all. He's in on it."
Yeah, but what's funny is
too late.
It wasn't like the whole group going, "I don't trust Michael." It was Nicole saying, "Don't trust Michael."
Daniel, yeah. So they kind of blow it up, not understanding that they don't really know what's going on in the house after last week's photo. So then Nicole goes home this week, and Daniel is still acting like dummy. Damage control. You don't want to win this. No, I'm convinced that they came in the game, the 2 of them, and they had such a good first week and second week, so they thought that they were going to go far, and they overestimated themselves.
It is mind-blowing to me that we are on week 4 and these people are like, they're going to win the game. They're going to win like, you haven't even made it halfway through the game yet. Yeah. Like, if you really watch this show, you need to like really plan out your cards right to get to the first half of the game. You got to get through this first half because the real game actually kicks in.
Well,
in the second half.
Usually, but we've had some good blindsides already this year.
They have. I do like that we didn't have the majority for a while. Yes. It wasn't just let's vote with the house.
Because we can have like 7 weeks in a row like that, and that is so boring.
It's so boring.
So boring.
So boring.
We're getting some action this season.
Now,
I like it.
we've got a little bit of a showmance that thus far, it's not to say that I won't, because I'm so on the fence with Kyle, right? Because on one hand, like, okay, just don't ever let him like host a competition again, and I will probably be okay with him for a lot longer, because my God, that was annoying.
He's a little
But
spazzy.
well, and also sometimes he kind of like freaks me out a little bit because he's got like a little bit of like a talented Mr. Ripley thing going on.
Oh, see,
And
my
like,
husband said, "Oh, he looks like a younger, that Hobbit guy." And I said,
Hobbit guy.
"Which one?"
Which Hobbit?
He thought he looked like a younger Sean Astin, like a thinner. He's something in his face. He said, and I go, oh, "Okay, sure."
I think that
Yeah,
he's
maybe, I don't know.
I think he might be have a little bit better like like hot stock than old Sean, but like
Yes,
he's a good looking guy.
but he
But like,
just looks too innocent and clean cut for me
yeah.
personally. But
There's just like a little borderline like creepy factor, and I think it is because he's just so young and because he
and
does have
inexperienced. He was raised very sheltered, I'm
yeah
guessing. Yeah.
yeah. But it also shows that he has a lot of enthusiasm for things that he
Mm-hmm.
hasn't experienced yet. And when you're young and you have that much enthusiasm, that's great. But when you're
Yeah.
like older and you've like cooled your jets a little bit, that kind of enthusiasm kind of like nails on.
Well, it'll be good for him. I think it'll let him have a lot of experiences and a lot of growing up and opening his mind and all those things. It's really good.
Crossed, the showmance doesn't like ruin his trajectory, because he's playing a good game. Like he's making some good moves. He's had a few good plans. He's
when
working with the right people.
When they kept showing him, he's standing there and like Daniel's saying all the things he's saying, they're just like so sure that it's the four of them, and he's just standing there kind of like.
Yeah, talking about the hidden looks. Like how about like how we got Monty, and Turner, and oh my God, these like the veto and the speeches tonight. Oh, I was dying. Like these little like looks are just like like, they've been fun to watch. Not so much while they're playing the game. Their reactions to the game are always very entertaining.
Yeah,
they're having some fun. So okay, so we've got these two put on the block.
Yeah.
Nicole was too damn salty for her own good. I mean, Taylor wasn't going to go home this week anyway.
Yeah.
But she would have had a lot more votes, because I mean, like I really think she would have had Indy. She would have had Jasmine.
Yeah. It would. I really had expected when they used the veto, I really thought it would end up being that 5-5 that Monty had to split.
Yep. Yeah. They were running a really close. They were getting it really close where that was going to happen, and so they really had to like. They were like, we're going to have to go to work, and we're going to have to convince these guys to join in on this. It should have been discussed right when she went up on the block. But then they didn't have to do anything. Just like the entire HOH, they didn't really have to do anything because Nicole and Daniel took care of it themselves.
Yeah. And so they were really fretting the fact that they were going to have to show their alliance if Monty had to pick. Mm-hmm. And now the alliance is still hidden in there a little bit. You don't
a little bit like it's a little bit clear that it's very clear that there is an alliance,
but not as much as it would have had to have been. There's still some plausible deniability here and there.
I think the best cover that anyone that has anything to do with this week has is Alyssa, because she can honestly say like she's not in this other alliance, but like she worked with them. Yeah. So
what'd you think of Taylor picking Alyssa and Indy to be?
I think that was a really good choice.
Well, strategically, for the way that they were talking about, if each group goes up, you have a meat shield that's someone who's not in the alliance. Super smart. But what do you think that did for Alyssa and Indy? Do you think they're like, oh, she does like us? Do you think?
I think that they were really mad about it.
Mm.
Honestly, especially Indy, because she was not happy about having to vote out Nicole over Taylor. She wants Taylor gone. She was the striking
Sure.
force and voice in the house of no, she needs to go. She needs to go.
Yes, but at the same time, they're seeing their friends going out the door, the people they thought they could trust. So
I
do you,
kind of
I don't know.
okay.
If they really think that Taylor's on the outs the way they think she is, they would be smart to try to make a move to grab her and pull her in as a vote if they could at this
Yeah,
point, because
yeah.
they can see their numbers dwindling. But I mean, they won't have a chance because she's already in an alliance. But they have to think maybe she is.
But I
I don't
think
know.
my prediction at this point is just in general numbers. If Taylor is with Alyssa, there does strike a bit of danger there because this could push Kyle. There's gonna come a time where it's between Taylor and Alyssa. It's just going to, and Kyle having some of the power, the control, and having some like Monty. I don't think Turner would vote to keep Alyssa over Taylor. I don't think he would, but I think all of the other guys would.
Well,
And
I hope one of the alliance members, so one of the leftovers, wins the HOH. Because if they do, then what you don't do is you don't put up the girls group,
yeah,
right? You
they
got to
need
put up one
they
of the
need
other.
well, and the problem that Michael and Britt were discussing, like where's
Right.
our
Very
safety?
real problem.
Yes.
So
That gets to be pretty tough because they're going to have to whoever they put on the block to get rid of this week. They are going to have to pick who they want to convince to join them in order to have that safety.
mhm.
But also, once the numbers are that much more than the other side of the house, I don't think the leftovers are going to be a long-lived alliance. I think
No,
like
because they
this
have to
week
start
will be their
scrambling. Mm.
yes. And I think this week we're going to start seeing where the cracks are and where the divisions are going to take place. And then after this HOH, likely we're going to have some disbanding
See,
because
I think we're going to have one more vote out with this alliance intact.
and kind of see who's left and
Yeah.
who joins what bestie crew.
I think if one of the alliance gets, I think you put up Kyle and Daniel because that's easy. You can put up Daniel, right? Be like, oh, look how jerky he's been, right? And then couldn't Kyle absolutely throw the veto? Like they can't win if Kyle doesn't help win, right? And Kyle wouldn't go home.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kyle is gonna. I think that Brittany and Michael are obviously sitting in a precarious situation as far as comparing their groups and their protection with everybody else that's in their alliance. That being said, a lot of these besties are not final twos. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that Michael and Britt have made a final two, but I think it's clear to say, like, if they had to campaign against each other, they would. But I think the ultimate goal is to go as far as they can together.
Well, I really liked the idea this week of Michael, Brittany, and Taylor when they're kind of like gelling together as a threesome, and I was like, ooh, I kind of like that.
I do too. And I really, really hope that they can pull Turner in.
Yeah.
And like have
Oh
this
yeah. That would be a cute foursome.
I think it would be great.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. We've got Michael who is sitting in a pretty dang good position as far as knowing what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle is in a dangerous place. He's in a good place, but he's almost going to be like in a Tyler situation because he's making friends and he just has to be very careful to not make promises outside of his alliance.
Do not make a final two with everyone. Okay?
Don't
Just
do
don't
it.
do that. Don't do that.
Because it doesn't matter how good you are at comps. It doesn't matter how likable you are. If you do
and
that,
it doesn't give you real safety. It doesn't. It's going to cause a lot of problems later.
Right. But seeing that he can kind of have his ear in every conversation right now he's in a really good place for information. I think Turner is sitting in an excellent spot because he had his HOH. it didn't really damage him because he
No.
got the leftovers formed on his
And he
apron.
got like that hero speech that he gave
Yes,
that
yes,
makes, no matter who you are, you go like, oh, he
right?
stood up because he doesn't like bullies. He stood up to what he thought was just mean people. That's kind of cool. He must
Yeah,
be a nice guy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
also there's the whole muffin gate thing. And if you don't do the live feeds, you don't really know what I highly suspect that come Sunday we're gonna get muffin gate because
Okay.
thus far it has played out so brilliantly, and it is like the one thing, like this is the kind of crap that I'm like, you know what, I don't care who I thought was going to win, this is who I want to win because of this stupid thing that happened. Like,
Okay. Is this spoilery?
it's not entirely spoilery,
Yes.
spoilery. There is, I don't know, it made for a really fun time in the past like 24 hours. Okay, so there were muffins made. Okay, there was
Who
some
made the
muffins made.
muffins?
I think that Nicole made them.
Okay.
But I think like Nicole made them for Jasmine because FYI, everybody has to make everything for Jasmine because she's a queen, and if you can't tell, she's just mortally wounded. So,
Oh my gosh.
did you
Yeah.
see they took her squeaky wheels away?
Okay. Now I have was that really squeaking or was that edited in?
No, it's the Christmas edit that they did with Christmas. That every
Okay.
time
Right.
she
Okay.
had
Because my mom was like, why can't they get her a better story? I'm like, Mom. And then
they have
after I
some
played the mom thing, I thought maybe I'm wrong. I just assumed it made me laugh every time
I love it.
because I
I
was
love
like,
it.
because get that and to just keep running that gag the whole
Again,
time.
you
I
you
love it.
know I love a snarky editor.
It's snarky, right? They don't know, but we're laughing. We
Yeah,
got the
fun
joke
for me.
anyway.
It's fun for me.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing when they were like, they show the house guests like, and I was holding on for dear life, and I knew I couldn't fall, and then just immediately cuts to them
Yes.
falling.
Yes.
That's gold. That's TV gold.
Yes.
So, okay, this muffin situation. So there's these muffins, and Jasmine has this muffin, and there's like a muffin sitting out, and at some point, like half of the muffin goes missing. Like it's cut in half. Like half of the muffin is
But
gone.
Jasmine had it was her muffin. She had claimed the muffin.
Yeah, like it was her
Okay.
muffin or
Okay.
whatever.
All
Like
right.
it was
Good.
hers, right?
Yeah.
And
It wasn't
so
with all the other muffins. It was a way
no, it was
someone
just
had.
her. It was her muffin.
Okay. All right.
Well, so it's sitting there, and like Turner walks in, and he like cuts half the muffin off or whatever, and then he just like goes and eats this muffin. Okay, whatever, no big deal. So like a while later, Jasmine comes like flying into the room, and she's got like the damn muffins, and she's all like, "Who ate my muffin? Like somebody ate my muffin." She's freaking out. She's super upset about it. She's like half laughing, but like also really pissed off.
Was she as pissed off as a chicken wing in the air fryer?
Yeah, no, she was using
Okay.
her normal human voice and not her
Oh,
Sandy
really?
squirrel voice. Yeah.
Yeah. That is what it sounds like. Ding,
Yeah,
ding,
right?
ding, 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 ding. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
A
exactly what it is.
bikini bottom action.
Yeah.
Now
Don't mess with Texas.
she she's flipping out about her muffin. She's like super upset. And Joseph is like, "Oh my god," and like there's just like this whole
Joseph's probably thinking it's a muffin. Like,
well,
get
like how
over it.
Joseph
Like,
does this
whatever.
face where he's like, like, this is what he's doing. And so he goes like later, a little while later, he's like goes over to Turner and he's talking to Turner, and they do this game, and they're like, okay, well, like,
and then Turner's got like a big chunk of muffin
and he's
stuck in
like,
his
I
tooth.
didn't take.
That'd be embarrassing.
I didn't take the muffin. Well, I didn't take the muffin. Okay, well, somebody took the muffin. Okay, so we're gonna play this game, and then whoever loses has to tell the truth who took the muffin. So they do this thing.
Okay.
Turner loses, and he's like, I took the muffin. It was me. I took the muffin. So okay.
He's like, hungry, man. It was a muffin.
He's like, oh my god, like you're gonna have to tell her that you took the muffin because she's like freaking out, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna
because
tell her.
I wouldn't tell her either at this point. Like,
right?
maybe
Like,
he would have
she's
said
freaking out,
something,
like,
and if she had just been like, dude, who ate my muffin?
Right? Right?
Like,
Like,
I don't even care. I just want to know who. Then I'd be like, sorry, I didn't realize it was your muffin. And that's it.
I think that Turner like realized she was genuinely upset about this, and he was like, "Oh,
Well,
hell no,
and
I
the
am
way
not."
she acts, I mean, her personality, you know, she's not going to let it go if she finds
No,
out.
no,
You
right?
can't let her
Right?
know.
This is
Ugh.
this is her freaking life now. Like, never mind a
Apparently,
$500,000. No,
America, don't ever take
a
her food,
muffin.
okay?
So okay, so wait,
She gets angry.
it gets even greater. I'm so excited. If they do not show this on Sunday,
Wait, I have one question. Was this the last muffin?
I think it was the last muffin.
Okay.
Okay. So I didn't do a muffin count.
I'm just saying still they can make more muffins, okay?
Right,
I mean, it's like
make another muffin. So okay. So then it's not like they're in a desert, right? Like it's
right.
Like
she acts like that's all she gets.
It's not an endangered species, muffins. It's not the last one. It's not Highlander.
Were they slop muffins?
No.
She's not even on slop?
No. Okay, and so
I don't know.
I just want to throw this into, like, I fully respect Turner for eating this muffin, and here's why. Because he went on slop, and so he had all of his HOH food. He had it like stored, and he was on he was a have-not, so he was waiting for his have-not time to go, and he was going to eat his food. And a few people got into his food and like ate his special snacks from home, and he didn't lose his mind. So he was in. I feel like
who ate his special snacks from home?
Oh, Jasmine was included. There was like
okay. I'm going to tell you right now. Listen,
a lot of people were grabbing snacks.
Sometimes I have special snacks.
Yes.
And the people in my house better not eat them. You know, moms have all kinds of tricks. We hide stuff in other packages. You put it in the way back, put it up, you know, like they don't look really very hard. They can't find their shoes. They're not going to find it. They're not going to find it. I would be so PO'd if someone ate my special snacks that I got as a reward for my HOH, right?
Yes.
Specifically planned not to eat them. Like, I would be super mad.
Yeah,
and he didn't freak out.
It's not like another house guest.
Like, this is like Bizarro World. Like, she has no reason to freak out. He has every reason to freak out.
She's an interesting. Is what okay.
Well, her Groucho Marx eyebrows for real. What is going on?
Well, I think that might be where her power lies.
Jazz. Listen, this is a PSA from us to you. You need to just tone it down, like maybe at least, like just like
dial it back
a couple of notches down. Your eyebrows don't have to be on 11. They could be less.
They could go up to 11, not 11.
Yeah.
So continuous enough Muffin Gate. So Joseph is like, you need to go tell her about the muffin, and he's like, no. Okay, so then this is where it's fantastic. This is where Jasmine gets some points for awesomeness.
Okay.
She decides she's gonna have a flippin' stakeout.
Was she gonna plant a muffin as bait?
So
see who comes and eats it?
No. She took the other half of the muffin and she left it out on the counter because she thought, whoever took the first half of this muffin is going to take the rest of this muffin.
Not after she freaked out.
I'm going to catch them, and I'm going to catch them. And she's like crawling around on the floor, hiding,
with her broken foot,
with her severed leg, and
dragging it behind her.
And she's like scraping around on the floor, trying to hide and trying to bust the muffin caper, right? Okay, so
but wait a minute, this is after her freak out.
Yeah.
Okay, if this is after her freak out, why does she think anyone's going to do it? She had to do that at the beginning. Notice it's gone. Then you go hide, see if someone comes back for it. Then you catch them. So she's not
on the DL. You got.
So she wasn't the police officer. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Right. So she's hiding. Nothing happens. No one takes the bait because, as you had just mentioned, senseless. No one's going to do this. Everyone knows how this is going to turn out. Like, there's going to be
absolutely the muffin eater knows exactly what's up.
No, right.
So, and why? If she was so bad about the first half, why not just eat the second half?
And
eat it. Like, let it get dry.
Joseph is no help because he's instigating. He's like, "Come on, you gotta go get that muffin. Like, we gotta go get it. Like, we'll stake it out. We'll distract her. You gotta get it. Okay." No, it doesn't happen. She gets tired of waiting.
Like
Everyone goes to bed. Everyone goes to bed. And then Turner awakes. And he goes downstairs and there's no one around. And he took a knife and cut off
it in half.
half of the other
Again?
muffin.
Yes. Yes. Oh,
So
the half bandit.
yeah, so he's got it like on a fork and he's running, right? And like you got to go straight into the DR because this is like a thing. And so this is what convinces me we are going to see this on Sunday. I don't even care about the HOH results.
That's just
I
good.
just
That's
want to
just good
see
TV.
I just want to see Muffin.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I went from like, yeah, Turner's okay to like this guy.
You know what? And seriously, it's not like he took a bite out of it. He cut it in half.
Yeah,
Your
everybody
housemates.
like,
Why do you assume that someone knew that was your muffin? Why don't you assume that, oh, hey, who did it? Like, it was mine, but like, whatever. You're welcome.
but the best part is that like Turner he's made food. He's made Jasmine food. Everyone's made Jasmine. You want to know
everyone has waited on her hand and foot. She can't do a ding dang thing herself.
More than waited on her hand and foot. Here's one for you. Nicole literally wiped her ass. Literally. On her first day of her very, very serious leg injury.
What about hurting your ankle makes it so you can't wipe your own behind?
I don't know. But this is the day we live in, and this is Jasmine's world. So,
no, she got to go. I'm sorry. I'm done.
So,
CBS pulled the plug on her.
So
she
now
nasty.
there's really, really high hopes. Like everyone's got their fingers crossed, for like Jasmine to get voted out more than anything because they want to see the goodbye message from Turner. Like, I want you to know that it was me. It was me. These silly things.
You broke my heart, Fredo.
It was me. I want you to know.
Man.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So,
wow. If they show that on Sunday, this was a heck of a week. There was lots of twists and turns going on in the house.
It was twisty, twist, twist, twist.
And
we're speaking of all the twisty, twist, twist, what do you think? What do you think about Julie's outfit? We got to.
Oh, while you were gone last week, David took it upon himself to remember to look and give his critique of Julie's outfit. And he could not be here tonight, but look at this. Got Pop to tell us his idea.
There he is.
Cute color. Great lines that work well for her. Shoes were hot. Hairstyle seemed a bit juvenile for somebody her age. She was a tad over accessorized, too many bracelets. All right. I thought it was a classic look. It was a very pale, non-Pepto-Bismol pink. Because pink can go very bad. It can look.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It can look really. Yeah, but it was a pale. It was a nice color for her. It looked nice on her. I agree with God. He's right.
I have a minor complaint.
Okay.
And that's the fact that this is just a pet peeve of mine. I feel like if you have any ties or strings on anything you're wearing in the front, you shouldn't wear a necklace. Especially a long one.
If you have a lot of busyness going on, things hanging. Why would you want more things hanging?
That tie that was like a completely contrasted pink, and then the necklace. I was like, it bothered me.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it, but I did.
Or you have to do something really like a really short necklace. It can't. Because you can't have it.
Right. On the contrary, Nicole's necklace that she was wearing was beautiful, and it was just like a single pearl, and that would have looked beautiful with what
keep it simple.
But I do like that there was like a lot of jumper action.
There was a lot of jumper action.
It makes me feel like I need a jumper, and then I'm like,
okay, here's the deal with jumpers. Super cute on, super impractical. When you have to go to the bathroom, I don't want to get all the way undressed to use the restroom.
No, it's too much. It's all too much.
And if you're in public, it's just like you're all exposed.
Nobody wants that. That's a lot of responsibility.
I'm not wearing a jumper at home.
No,
and I'm not wearing a jumper out in public, but they're cute on other people.
They are really cute. Also, I'm a really long torso person.
So I was going to say for long torso, that's uncomfortable.
It goes to the wrong places at the wrong
Right,
time.
you sit down, instant wedgie. This is not good.
Yeah. Like you have to walk around like this all the time.
Every time you stand up, you got to dig it out. Like, this is not. No, come on.
I gotta raise my shoulders when I sit and pull backs. It's a whole aerobics.
You shrug and give yourself a wedgie. Yourself.
You got a crank in your neck? Nope, just wearing a jumper. This is my jumper pose. Yeah, see, not everybody can do it. Not everyone can do it. But Taylor looked just, God, she's gorgeous. I don't know.
She's
and
really,
Nicole's
really
gorgeous too. It's just a bunch of really beautiful people on TV tonight.
Yeah, I think Alyssa's a really pretty girl too.
I do think she's pretty, but she this is why her and Kyle work, because she gives me the same kind of like creepy or half human vibe. like maybe you are part dog.
Maybe she's a little naive as well. Maybe she's not as experienced and worldly. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe they'll be good together then.
Well, and I do think that I like that it does feel like they genuinely do entertain each other.
Fancy each other.
They like each other and they giggle at the dumb things together. So,
oh my God, all of the I'm not going to kiss him, and I just want him to kiss me, but I don't mind. And then like how they're like playing that, it's like, God, are you guys 14? What is going on here?
But I gotta tell you,
and they're really, really close to each other in bed, but they're just like giggling. Like
Kyle's mom is not having it. She's not having it on the Twitter. She's like, she had to shut down her Twitter.
Well, just shut down your TV.
She doesn't want to know that stuff. And then also, she's a little bit iffy too because, okay, here's the deal. Alyssa, she's sweet. I don't have an issue with her. She's fairly fine, whatever. Yeah. But she does have like some very young, jealous tendency. Because like they hadn't even kissed yet, and she was all like, "Well, would you do this and this?" And I mean, there's some flags. There's some red flags.
And we just saw last episode the idea that Kyle was finding out that she had a boyfriend outside of the house. And that was like, I don't know now. And then that just went away. They never really showed her going like, well, I was seeing something. Like there was no explanation. They're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Weird. But it's not the first time. It's not the first time. We've actually, like, we know that there's been marriages that have been ruined because of flirtations on the show. So that's what happens when you get everybody locked into the same place with, it's dangerous. Dangerous.
It is. What do you think of the veto competition?
Never again.
Okay.
Ever again. I hated it so.
It was so easy, wasn't it? I didn't think it was that hard. Yeah. Usually when they have those kind of like memory things like that, where you have to count like the numbers and the colors, you have to remember the sequence. The ones that get me is this happened before that, or that happened before. Yes, and they didn't use that one, but they used really easy ones. It was very easy.
Well, I think that because you had to do it like the telephone game, like I thought that's where the
true.
The edge was going to be. But here's the thing. That's all fine and good. If I ever have to endure an animated, acted, god-awful, cringy, it was so uncomfortable.
I mean, the animators got some work this week, but it was, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They just animate what they're told to animate. So.
And the animation was fine. Like
yeah. It was just like the concept was kind of goofy.
The whole time I'm like, I hated it. I hate it so much. I think it was Jessica actually on Twitter, and she said that she was like something about like being embarrassed. Like it was like
they are
secondhand embarrassment is what it was.
And they are like highlighting drug use to America.
Yeah. And like they made Turner like talk about living in a van. Like
I will say those wall hanging things that they had, those mandalas that they had, the fabric things. Yeah. I was kind of digging them. I was like, maybe I need to get some of those. I don't know.
Those are kind of cool.
They're kind of cool.
It was cringy. I think that there's a little aspect to the game that could be made pretty fun. Like if we get to if they would have saved that game for when everybody had to have like 3 festy besties and they had to telephone it to the next person and then that person had
Oh
to go to
yeah,
the
I
next
like that.
person?
I like the
That would have been
telephone
fun.
idea in like that's a good idea, that telephone
Yeah.
thing, because it makes you really have to pay attention and listen to each other.
Yeah, and how about Indy, like, going off about how Alyssa didn't tell her anything? But I'm not blaming Alyssa. Okay.
Does that girl own a shirt? That's just, I only just want to know, does
No.
she own a shirt?
No.
Because
No.
even when they got the tie-dye t-shirts with, which I love tie-dye, she had to tie it all up and make it into a crop top.
Yeah,
And
that's her
you know
jam.
what?
That's
Good
her
for her.
jam.
Good for her. But I'm just like, okay, we get it. You're Brazilian. Cool, cool, cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rocking it. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah,
You don't wear very much clothes. We get it. Okay.
yeah, she cracks me up. Like her, and her edit it's not that her edit is bad or totally inaccurate. It's just like she's really not brought anything to the table yet as far as moves or
No,
gameplay
not
or
yet.
what have you.
But
So
no.
they've done little things like to just kind of spice up her storyline just a little bit. Like I had messaged you, but like last week when when Paloma was evicted and it showed everybody off in their separate rooms and then like being all angry and upset and then it like pans over to Indy in front of the mirror and she's like crying and she had a bee sting, everybody. It was a bee sting. She was not crying because her best friend was out of the house or she got stung by a bee. And it sucked and it hurt. She didn't like it and it scared her a little bit.
Yeah.
Just saying. But good on them. Good on them to find a way
Oh,
to make
JP, them's fighting words. No. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Traitor. We don't subscribe
Ooh.
to that.
For one, she doesn't have the hat.
She doesn't. And Harrison Ford, 2 iconic characters, and he can do no wrong in either one. And the last indie movie doesn't exist.
Listen, I'm just saying, if he would have got stung by a bee, he wouldn't have been in the mirror crying about it.
He wouldn't have. Very true. He would have just shot the bee.
He would have shot it.
Yeah. What else?
Well, I'm curious to see how our HOH goes. Can we talk about that too? By the way, this is the second week with no live HOH, and I'm a little bit irritated.
Yeah.
I know it's a time crunch thing, and I get that, but it's kind of fun to see some of that. I don't know. It's not as fun when it's recorded, even if I wasn't reading any spoilery stuff. It's just there's something about watching it as it happens.
Yeah.
Like you could go home and you can record a sports ball game and then
when
watch it when you go
when
home.
they give you that very beginning, they start it helps it bridge the gap. Then when you tune in on Sunday, it's like, oh, I don't know.
Yes,
I think it works better. It's it flows better. Like last time, and now we're going right back into it again. But
yes, yeah.
Plus, I mean, we won't get to see anything, any setup or anything. We'll just hear about it on the Twitter of who won, without any context.
Now, there is something else that I think that we need to bring up because it's really important to this 3 group of people, a handful of people on the Twitter, and especially David. I did tally our shout outs. I tallied them. I wanted to see who the worst offender of the shout outs actually was.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me see if I remember right.
How many people?
It is the worst one is Jasmine.
No.
No?
No.
Sounded like she said it sounded like she listed everybody from her county.
Okay, so here's the deal. It boils down to 2, but mostly 1. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the count. I'm gonna give you the count. Daniel, Turner, Kyle, and Alyssa all had 2. Terrence had 1. Michael, 0. Good job.
Well, he knows his cats are not watching.
He knows. Now, okay, we've got Brittany with 4, so that's quite a bit. She rambled them out pretty fast. Now here's where here's where we're dealing with a tie. We've got Indy and Joseph tied. So Indy has 5 plus the whole country of Brazil. The entire country. So She could be the
And I
worst
don't know
by
if you
default.
don't know, Brazil is extremely
There's a
populated.
lot of people. So
Lots and
her
lots of
is
yeah,
super long.
yeah.
And then Joseph had 6. So it's like a tie. It's like a tie between the 2.
You
But only
know,
one
is
is
it a
shouting
big
out all the
family?
time.
Is it a big family sort of thing? I gotta say it to everybody.
Like, I
I don't
can't
know.
leave one
Pace
person
yourself.
out because then they'll have hurt feelings. Like,
Do you
you know,
are you know? I never really pay attention to who they're saying their shout outs to. Do they shout out to the same people every single week? Because that's
some
boring.
some do, some do.
That's
I mean,
boring.
yeah.
Change it up.
You know what?
You know
That's
what?
for
You
if it's a
may
birthday, an anniversary, you go for it.
yeah, I understand that you're missing
Yep.
life
Yeah.
events with people that you care about.
Then by
So
all means, by all means.
that I get. But you know what? Stay long enough. Let's change it up. Stay long enough that you're like thanking your first grade teacher. You know, get there. Be trying different people each week.
Like, that's your goal. That's
And
your
I
goal.
think
Like,
I think
I
you
have
gotta
to make sure I thank everyone on my list. I have to be here long enough to thank everybody on my list.
and yeah, there you go. That's a motivator. Sorry, I didn't give you a shout out. I didn't stay long enough. Sorry.
Sorry,
I don't know.
you weren't my number one priority.
Or I don't know, maybe just don't do it at all. Like thank or say hello to like your significant other because obviously you'd be missing them. And maybe your mom, because you know what? The mom is always the go-to, right? Every time an athlete, somebody does good, it's like, hey mom, I did this for mom.
Unless
Maybe
you're
do that.
Julie and then it's holy father.
Right.
She doesn't thank her mom for a thing.
Nothing.
Thankless.
Nothing. Well, I mean, I was gonna make kind of a bad joke, but I won't. If anyone would know, they've gone back to watch Big Brother because it's all on Paramount now. Have you watched any of them? Season 1? That's not Julie Chen.
I know, right?
She looks nothing like Julie Chen.
Well, she did go. There was that episode of The View where everybody came clean about what work they had done.
Yeah.
She's had a long list of it.
Yeah. And I mean,
she's had a list. But I mean, like Julie Chen then was actually like warmer and funnier, and like she hit house guests. It was great. She wasn't like, "Don't touch me." She just hit them.
And if she could move her face, then maybe that was it.
That might be it. She could express more emotion.
Or I don't know. Maybe she's on a stricter diet now to maintain her statuesque, posture. I don't know.
It's a fantastic silhouette that she has.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Julie.
A lot of work to have it.
Julie, you're not getting fired from the show. Like, literally, at this point, you can do this until you die. Yeah. You don't have to watch your weight. No. You can wear whatever you want. Clearly,
whatever.
Kids make a pot holder. Wear it. Yeah, wear it.
Craft projects.
Sure.
Please.
So you don't. Yeah, just be happy. You can just
macaroni art.
Yes. Why not?
I would love some macaroni art. You do.
That's how you become a real boy or a real girl. I'm just saying. Be human. Be human.
It's important. It's an important part of the whole thing.
But yeah, the shout outs. Indy did the thing that I really hate, which is where she tells Julie how beautiful she looks, and Indy, stop.
You look so beautiful. You look so beautiful. So here's the deal. Like, there was somebody questioned, some house guests, like, can you actually like see on a monitor? Like, can you see her? So like, they have their like little window, right? Like their little DR window. And it's on I guess it's on like a little monitor, like on the other side of the window. And if you squint really hard, you can see it. So it's like, so this is just empty BS. That's what this is.
Well, I mean, they see her on the screen when they're sitting in the living room, right?
Empty.
But at the moment that they're actually giving the compliments, they're not seeing her. You are correct. And that
it kills me. It kills me. I just want to be like, Julie.
Hollow.
Julie, I can't see you. I am assuming you're wearing something weird, but I'm sure your face looks gorgeous.
I'm assuming that you're standing in a 3/4 pose. And
pretty sure you have a trip cord that you're holding.
Definitely high heels. Yeah.
The shoes, okay, we gotta say though, the shoes are always good. Like
maybe that's why she's grumpy. Maybe it's the shoes. Her feet are killing her.
she's never, it is so rare to see her anything like close to a flat. Those shoes are always just,
Uh-huh.
oh, man.
She has an image to uphold.
She does. She does. And you know what? I'm going to say it again. Nicole was giving her a run for her money tonight with her outfit and her shoes. Again, she looked gorgeous. Way
You know
too
what?
bad that she has an ugly heart. Just saying.
Well, let's just say that she had a momentary lapse, and let's hope that she sees the error of her ways. And I will say this, she went out of the house and I felt like during the interview and as she was exiting, she wasn't mean or upset, or she seemed to take it fairly well.
Here's the deal. Like the past 2 days, well, more than the past 2 days, like the past week and a half, 10 days, especially the last 2 days, she just says really, really bad things and nasty, mean things and like words that I certainly wouldn't use on this, but absolutely would use in real life.
Right.
But like she's been a poor sport. I mean, that's the only way I can really describe it. She has been a poor sport, and Big Brother is stupid. She's never going to watch Big Brother again. She's
all right. I take everything back.
The feeds, but
because I felt like she showed good sportsmanship there when she got out.
But here, I think she had. They told her, like, they came clean, like, Nicole, you're going home. She knew before. It wasn't a blindside. That was part of the thing too. Like you said, they wanted to let the other side of the house know so they didn't feel like they were out of the loop because they're trying to keep the waters a little bit more calm for a minute. But then Julie told her, someone's cooking dinner in your place. Nicole, it's Nicole. She left.
She's son has to get a drink right now, right this second. And it must have a maximum amount of ice. If that ice isn't going all the way to the top, are you really even having ice?
I insist that he make muffins while he's there.
And I will eat his muffins.
So she's the queen of Saltland, but then Julie said, well, she kind of slid it in there. Did you catch it? Where she's like, well, they formed this alliance the night that you and Daniel had the thing in the bath. Basically, Julie was like, remember the night in the bathroom?
Remember the night when you guys like just decided to go like be real jerks? Remember that?
Yeah, that's what happens when you are a jerk.
I love that she told her that because I still don't think that they ever thought that night was a bad move.
Yeah, and
they weren't thinking about it, but now she's told her, and now Nicole's got to be going. When she made that connection, she had to be going, "Oh my God,
crap,
we messed up."
Yep. And then in her goodbye messages, she got it again. They were just like, we decided that we wanted to form a group that wasn't circled around bullying Taylor. Like, surprise, you don't have to be a jerk.
Yeah, you don't.
No.
But Daniel's not saying. I see like for this next week, 2 possible outcomes. Putting Daniel and Kyle up would be a super easy nomination because you could be like, oh well, whatever, and you keep Kyle and you send Daniel home. Fine. But if the alliance is smart, they'll put them girls up again.
Yes.
And that sounds horrible. But they have the votes. And if there's 3 of them up, okay, that's 2 of them. None of them can vote, but they don't need Taylor's vote. But they've now neutralized 2 other votes.
That's the big thing right there. They've got to neutralize. But, okay.
And it doesn't even matter how anyone else, as long as the alliance votes to send either Alyssa or Indy home, they go home. So I don't know. Either way would be good.
What happens because we've seen this happen in Big Brother 1,000,001 times, right? We have somebody who's completely on the outs. They know they're on the outs. They're ready to go home. Just like Daniel said, just like, kick me out now, Julie. They'll
keep him. He's not going to win now. He's not going to win at all now. But keep him there as this suffering, miserable, sucks at the game.
Though? Like what happens if he gets the HOH, he could get it. We've seen it happen 1,000,001 times.
Well, he's going to put up Monty and Joseph and Terrence, right?
You think he's going to go after the boys, or do you think he's going to just be dead set on Taylor? Do you think he's still got the Taylor blinders?
Okay, the logical part of me wants to go, this is how many times you guys have taken a shot at her. This is many times they failed. Clearly, you don't have the votes in the House to send her home.
Yeah.
So that's the logical part of your brain should tell you that. But maybe I would think he would go after Monty for sending his, playing the Jedi mind trick on him, because he really was like, well, Monty doesn't want me to use the veto, so I'm definitely using the veto. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Is he gonna own the fact that he screwed up his own game and sent his alliance out, or is he gonna think still that Monty tricked him into doing it?
That's just it. I'm back. He's gonna have to, if he has any hope moving forward in this game at this point in time, it's him walking and going, "Good one, guys."
Yes, but he's in the bedroom freaking out while they're all out there having fun.
You got to play for yourself. You can't share the check.
You don't get ticked off and then go isolate yourself from the rest of the house after something like that happens.
Fact.
Stupid.
That's a dangerously bad move. Classically bad in every way, and unless you win the HOH. And then if you win the HOH, you do you.
Like every good Irish family, you have to take those feelings and stick them way down. Way down deep. You cannot let them see them. You do not let them know.
If they try to float to the surface, just get a drink and some food.
Push
it down.
Push it down. But Daniel clearly could not do that. Oh, he gave shouts out to his crew that he travels with, legends. So that wasn't even people. I don't know why that just popped in my head because, oh, Daniel. Really sad because I wanted to like Daniel and Nicole, and I did like him on the first episode.
I know. I'm so bummed. I'm like, guys, you guys were the guys.
And there's been so many steps where if they could just be self-aware, they could have got a redemption story, but they just couldn't let it go. They were really ride or die on that thing. They were going into the wall.
I feel like at some point they should have just recognized, when they said a Taylor thing, they should have looked around and been like, oh, no one's laughing. We're not doing that anymore? Okay, something's changed.
Kyle's over there. He's not laughing. He's just thinking it's super awkward. Anyway, should be fun.
I feel like the call out was when Turner was all like, hey, I'm done with the bullying.
Yes. But they double down. Anyway, well. But I will say all of this has given great TV.
It's been so much better than the first.
It's been fun.
Thank Julie's Father God, because she's been praying. The show got better. She's been saying her words.
Whew.
There we go.
Good.
Sister Julie, saving the day.
Saving the day. All right. Well, I guess that's about it, isn't it?
Well,
we'll wrap this
up. I think that we're there. I think we're at that point.
Okay.
Fingers
we're there,
crossed
guys.
that we get the Muffin Man story on Sunday, and we'll back
get to see it all. Oh, you told it so well, though. Thank you.
It was the best.
Oh, I can't wait. You painted such a picture.
I started getting all these tweets that this was going on. I'm like, okay, so we had to backtrack. We had to backtrack and catch all the video. We spent good 2 hours of the day piecing. It's like the meme, with Charlie and Always Sunny, where he's got all the posters and the strings attached.
Shirley, which one came first, this video or that video? Gosh,
I need to see all this as it plays out. So I'm very excited for the Sunday reveal.
Cool, me too. All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. We will be back here next week, week 5 already. I can't believe that it's gone so fast already.
It's gone very slow. At the same
you think
time.
so? Okay, well,
very fast and very slow.
And next week, Gat will be back with us, and
it'll be a trio again.
He'll give us probably another fashion review on Julie Jen.
Our festy bestie group will grow back into 3.
Back into a trio. All right, guys. Well, or maybe now next week it's my turn not to be here. No, that's not happening. All right. All right, guys. Well, see you next week.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.